let's go, boys. Bad timing. I could have dodged that. I just timed it bad. Come on, man. I assumed that attack was going to miss me, so I didn't roll. So I thought I could just run out of the way. For that, like, that slash that causes the explosion, I thought I could just sidestep it, so I guess maybe it just pushed me so far to the right that I couldn't get away from the left. I don't know. But this guy needs to stop using that 3 times in a row instead of just running at me. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Ironically, I could have actually gotten Ghost Flame Ignition, but it still wouldn't have done a ton, because he would have just taken off. That would have been a better heal. It would have been a better heal, but for some reason my character didn't respond. I guess maybe I hit the button before the roll animation finished, but it looked like I was standing upright. Sometimes I genuinely don't know if, like, when stuff like that happens, if that's the game's fault or if it's like input lag from my monitor. I don't really know if there's a way for me to test that, but I mean, considering how things usually go, I can't blame technology. But I got the hit that time. Let's see if I die for it. The attack was finished. My bad. that started off really good, and then my hands, I guess, shut off. Either my hands or my brain, probably my brain. Of course. Really. No, I don't need bullshit for my stream. Okay, this is bad. That was the worst timing imaginable for me to try and heal. One distraction and the fight goes to shit. Dumbass. Delayed fucking attacks. Yeah, that didn't hit me. I should have rolled in the other direction, but that did not hit me. Love delayed explosions. There's nothing more fun for our boss encounter than attacks that you dodge but get hit anyway. Yeah, I'm kinda getting rolled this fight. The fact that I can be behind him and still take full damage from that shockwave is outrageous. Because it literally is like you have to perfect dodge the attack, because otherwise you're getting hit by the shockwave effect. Like, you have to time it perfectly to have iframes for both of the, like, the stomp and the shockwave itself. You went from never using that extra attack to using it like every single combo string. Surely one of these attacks will cause frostbite. Finally. That would actually been a good chance to hit him. The thing I don't like about the lightning effects in this fight is instead of it being like where the attack starts, it will just follow with his character model. Like they get placed after the attack, and it's really fucking annoying because you have to dodge. It's like it doesn't matter what direction you dodge, you just have to dodge perfectly because otherwise you're getting pushed into the thing anyway. That was actually a very good start. I got hit by that one tremor or earthquake or whatever you want to actually call it, which shouldn't have hit me, but you know, whatever, I didn't make the game. And then I died to another delayed hit. Like this, I don't care about getting punished for that as long as my attack is actually connecting. Can you roll the other way for that? Just so, it used to be so uncommon for him to do that I'm just unused to seeing it. Yeah, I have to keep doing it. about that? Like, I wonder sometimes if I need to, like, start taking supplements for my brain. Because it sometimes feels like I'm disconnected from what my body is doing. Not in, like, any major way, but it's just like, I have lag. When interactive start to the fight, holy. When interactive start. Okay. So it doesn't actually matter what direction I roll because he will just course correct perfectly to make sure I get hit with the handle of the sword, causing full damage and killing me instantly. Yeah, I rolled, man. Yeah, I was wondering when he would do this attack. Bruh. I was like, any of those hits will bring him to the next phase. Well, this is bad. Because there's really no way for me to tell how close the boss is to having his stance broken, a lot of times, like what just happened, I'll just charge at him and try and hope for the best, because I got a decent amount of hits on him before the phase shift. And I guess what just wasn't enough. It would be nice if my controller was fully working, because then I could use charge attacks instead of just R1. Like I'm fine trading hits at the on that very beginning with that dive attack. I'm fine with trading hits there if it means I can get Ghost Flame Ignition down, but it's still very frustrating to have to sacrifice half of my life to do like 10% of his. I was gonna say, like, do your cute little fucking flip. And then I get hit twice by the same attack. I watched my health get chunked down to like 5% and then they just like shaved off the rest for good measure. Cause like the thing about this too is like we've seen that's a mistake. We've seen the boss do that attack from a range that it's impossible for him to get me. Just twice in a row. It's like out of spite. Which is why I'm fine potentially trading hits at the very beginning if it means I can get Ghost Flame Ignition out. Didn't know if I was far enough away. I probably needed to move like 2 steps, and I would have probably been safe. So that was on me for overestimating how safe I was. See, like, he'll do that, where there's no way of the attack hitting. An unfortunate place to have to fight him. Oh my god. The hit knocked him into his stance break, so it got cancelled immediately. Oh. Started off okay. If he didn't get... That would have actually gone substantially better if the hit that brought him into the second phase wasn't what broke his stance. Because the problem is, since it got broken, it was reset. If it wasn't broken, it wouldn't have been reset. I learned this on accident, looking at the wiki, because I found out that critical hit we did yesterday... Okay, man, come on. I found out that critical hit he did yesterday, well, we did, was basically the same thing. Come on, man. Well, this started off really good. And then it went to shit in seconds. Yeah, it started off extremely well and then went to shit. Like, pretty much every fight. Well, I'd say probably like 30% of the fights, because the other 50% are me just trading hits with the guy. But I do know now if I time it correctly, I can use Ghost Flame Ignition to punish that explosion thing he does. Not if I get hit like that. Yeah, he'll finally do that flip when my health is in such a horrible state that I may as well just reset. It's one of the few punishing attacks I can actually exploit. And he's just like, oh no, I'm only gonna use it in like very specific scenarios, and then half the time when you commit to an attack, I'll do the second flip as a treat. Like, okay. The dude waited until the fire faded. Of course, I try and heal, and he decides it's time to use the extra hit. It's so bizarre too, because like yesterday, I don't think he used that extra hit on that one combo string a single time. Maybe he did like once or twice, but like now he's using it every other fight. Maybe it was just a fluke that my Ghost Limb Ignition worked that one time. Man, I fucking timed that horrifically. Like, I get it. I get it. I need like a strong transition to the second phase, but it's almost impossible to do that because half his attacks just make my weapon art impossible to use. And even aside from that, I spend more time fucking dodging. I spend more time fucking dodging than I do attacking. So it's impossible to build stance break on it too. If I wanted to be cheesy, I guess technically speaking I could use like a parrying dagger, but that would depend on me having the weight to use it with this weapon. Even then, some of his attacks might not even be parryable. mean, technically, no, I don't deserve that. Literally any of those hits should have applied frostbite. But, oh well. I dodged poorly and died for it. And then I try and guess that he's not going to use that because sometimes he just doesn't. Well, unfortunately his stance got broken, so I can't have a better start here. But we made it to the second phase.
I promise you, 1,000-year voyage guided
And yeah, he
by
doesn't seem to
compassion.
take damage unless that deliberately moved him off. Fortunately, I can't do much about that. Fuck me, I had the timing all wrong. Like, that's another thing, like, we did so many attempts where we actually got to phase 2 that he didn't do that gravity explosion thing that we just got chunked by last time, that it's just like, you just stop thinking about it, because it's like, okay, I guess he's not using it, and then they use it. It's like the game reads, it's like it reads my mind. I know it reads my inputs, but I'm fine using my flasks, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm like, unless I go into the second phase with like 4 flasks, I'm not really panicking. But like, some of the hits that connect are just nonsense. Like, I'm pretty sure he hit me with his hand on that killing blow. Mistake. Okay. With the flask to give me more mitigation, I just fucking die from like 60% of my health. So if he didn't do that attack, we would have rebound perfectly fine and maybe even won. But the game had to punish me by doing the attack where I am forced to run away and whatever that was. Bad timing. I genuinely don't believe that should cause damage to me. Because it doesn't cause damage in the first phase. At least not the very first one for some reason, unless it's a bug. But it's already vacuuming me into him for an attack that forces me to run away if he decides to use it. probably like the very tip of that. Like, the idea is if I run at him in the second phase, maybe he won't use his cringe attacks. Like, right off the bat. I mean, he's gonna use them eventually, but maybe I can, like, trick the AI. I wish that one attack didn't randomly miss and randomly hit in that combo string. I didn't attack immediately, otherwise I think we would have been fine. Okay. Whatever, man. Just waste my Ghost Flame Ignition. Like that. If I attacked immediately, I think I would have been fine. I don't have the recipe, but apparently you can very easily apply Scarlet Rot to him with throwing weapons. Unfortunately, I don't have the recipe, I don't know where it is, so I don't feel like going on a journey just for that. Yeah, like that time I genuinely thought he was gonna do that weird thing where he runs away. Somehow that missed, we take those. And I have like the most visibly obvious delayed hit there, and I get hit by it anyway. God, it's doing this shit again. Yeah, that is supposedly a bug. If a critical hit pushes him into the second phase, you will not get transported to the other side of the arena. Which could have worked in my favor if I needed to, like, buff up or anything, but I can't buff up or anything. The most I could have done was heal, and we saw how that worked out. By no means do I think I'm playing well, but like to die in a two-hit combo string is outrageously stupid with how much physical protection I have. Alright, we're getting one of those interactive starts again. Yeah, we're really getting peak cringe from the game this fight. Whatever. Like a boss getting a new attack in like a different phase or like a different health threshold, like yeah, okay, sure. But when they have all these attacks at the very start and it's all cringe, that like there's no way of doing anything to the boss at that point. It's just like, well, what are we doing, man? What is the play? I have a suspicion that boulder just flew at me from the fog wall. Like inside it. Which makes me think that that isn't actually considered a wall for the purpose of projectiles. I really like. I'm okay with Radon having that weird vacuum attack because it makes sense. Because for certain, like for a mage, they want to stay as far away as possible. But just to have like a half-second telegraph of him like T-posing before he does it with like a seemingly like an impractically large radius, it just kind of makes it shit. Dodge, try to hit anyway. Love it. It's a fantastic game. Yep, very fun. He could have done any attack but that. I mean, that's my fault for just walking at him. It's very unfortunate we're getting the stance break right before the phase transition. A part of me feels like that's by design, because I have to assume most players are just R1 enjoyers. Yeah, that did fly in through the fucking fog wall. Any of those hits could have staggered him, any of those hits could have applied Frostbite, but none of them did. Like, either of those things happen, we go into the second phase with plenty of flasks. And if the Frostbite happens, the Frostbite should get cleared, which means that I would easily stagger him and apply Frostbite. So it's really just a series of unfortunate events, I guess. Like this, it's like start on the back foot. We start on the back foot because of like the 1 in 5 scenario that he'll just rush me at the very start. Because otherwise, the four other scenarios, it's always just like, well, he's gonna use that same vacuum attack, even though there's no chance of hitting me 3 times in a fucking row. But then he'll do this, and I trade half my health for 5% of his. Even if we went to the second phase, I would have had like 3 flasks after topping myself off. Unfortunately, I can't justify using my flask of Wondrous Physic at the start because it's just so much time spent dodging that half the effect will go to waste, or more. That was unfortunate placement. It's crazy that I can't even heal when he does that. I don't have time to do anything but dodge. So God forbid I have to do anything but dodge. Dodge too late on that. Not that I think it would have made a difference, but oh well. It does kind of feel like a game that was balanced around light roll, which doesn't make sense to me because you need like 30% of your equip load at a max to be able to light roll. Man, what an amazing start to this fight. Okay, I didn't know that it caused the fucking shockwave that far ahead of him. I guess because the camera gets blocked by his fat ass every single time I roll around him. That's another thing about the game. Like, with every enemy being colossal in size, as a melee player, you can't see what's actually happening half the time. Like Bale, you can't see anything, like, and it makes sense at least in that case because it's a dragon. But for him, like, he's just too early. Well, would have been a great phase 2. I just needed that one hit. Speaking of just needing one hit, I was like, yeah, any of those will stagger him. If stagger was something that I could actually see as like a second like bar or whatever, then the game would actually be easy because I could play around that. I feel like playing around an invisible gameplay mechanic is just bad game design. Like, unless it's something like arbitrary, like drop rate on a fucking item, it just seems like horrible design for like combat. One time I expected to not use it. Alright, do your flip. That's not your flip. Alright, dickhead. Like, I genuinely thought any of those hits would have staggered him. Maybe it just resets so much when he's in the air like that, that I just lose my, like, if he flies into the fucking air, I just lose my opportunity. Unless it's a, like, unless it's just like, he does some easily telegraphed attack, encounter. Okay, you're just fucking with me now. The problem is, like, I stop relying on stance breaking the enemy for setting up Ghost Flame Ignition, and then it happens when I don't expect it to. So every time I do expect it to, I get murdered horribly, and then every time I don't expect it to is when it happens and fucks up everything. There is no opportunity in like the minute and a half or whatever before I died for me to get a single attack in. That's why I mean, like, I feel as though the game's balanced around having light equip load and using light, like, fast weapons, because, like, there are slower weapons than this. I can't imagine it would be anything other than masochism to try and fight some of these bosses. Like a colossal sword. Fell for it again, award. Yeah, the chance of us getting a stagger early on in the second phase for this attempt is close to 0. With all the flying around this guy's doing, there is no way. Maybe, I mean, maybe. It depends on what he does here. Yeah, of course. And he does that out of spite. Like, okay, man. It's such a cringe attack. Like, yeah, let's hit the player and interrupt them 900 times, and this... When you think the attack's over, they're just gonna keep going with shit. We're gonna completely change the damage type halfway through to distract you. It's just a horrible fucking ability. Like, everything about this game sucks. Like, logically, it makes sense. Like, logically, it makes sense. Like, oh, well, they're gonna, like, diversify their attacks. But, like, it just doesn't make it. It's awful feeling when the boss goes from like, oh well, here's it does some magic damage and some physical damage, and if you get hit by that one fire explosion, maybe a little bit of fire, and then you get to the second phase, and it's like, okay, now he does holy and lightning damage too. So he does every damage type. Well, I rolled, but the game decided that it doesn't count. Rolled into that. I was getting a few too many hits in, so you had to fly in the air and reset it. That was weird. I didn't have control over the camera. We have control now, but at the very start. killed early expecting the non-delayed attack. Unfortunate timing, but we still lets me get healed. Yep, very cringe. I'm getting fucking ping pong between the boss and these random fucking lightning bolts. Like, that one Ghost Flame Ignition I tried, I did get punished for because the lightning came down on top of me. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to me just getting slapped around like I'm the ball in Pong because some nonsense the game decides to throw at me. Was a good start. Maybe on the second phase, if I get a chance for a critical hit, I should take it and then apply Ghost Flame Ignition. But I don't know. I thought I would be able to apply Frostbite. I didn't want to go for the critical hit and then cause the bug where I'm on the other side of the arena in phase 2. So I should have probably just used Ghost Flame Ignition. Oh well. Dodged again, but still took damage. Making me wonder what the point of dodging even is. Part of me does feel like that overhead, that fucking somersault he does, should have more of a recovery that I can get more than a single hit in. Like, he stands up ready to go. More frustrating than anything, because even the attacks that I should be able to do something about, I can't. Although surely one of those hits will cause frostbite or knock him down. I was gonna use that opportunity to heal, but game has other ideas. I should check my gear, my armor, and see if there's something that protects me against his shit better than what I have. Probably not, but okay, we're back to doing less, I see. Just do the flip, man. Like, we're just trolling at this point. I knew I should have healed, but I wanted to hope that with the flask it would have caused enough stagger to knock him down. While annoying, at least that gives me an opportunity to heal the boulder stuff. Yep, dodged again, got hit. Love it. So much fucking fun. I always have like the perfect opportunity to rebound and heal, and I'm like, we have to go for the stagger. We need to do the damage. I really just need to be patient with the fight, but it's just when everything can kill me, it just becomes, I don't want to say stressful, but just like kind of a grievance. Both times I create and get punished by the attack that he doesn't even do all the time. Well, unfortunate. To the delayed hit. Perfect world, we can stagger it. We can just run up on his ass and stagger him at the very start of the phase, get the frostbite down, and then we'll be, I don't want to say good to go, but we'll at least be able to do a substantial portion of his health and damage. I did learn that, this is probably a mistake, I did learn that I cannot interrupt that explosion he does in the second phase. I was distracted talking, so that's on me. If he starts lifting up into the air and your hit causes him to stagger, it does not stop the explosion. So maybe if you timed it right, you could have the invincibility frames from the critical hit. But that's a big maybe. I've only had it happen once before, so I'm not sure if that would work. Waiting just long enough for the Ghost Slimming mission. Yeah, that cross slash is another one of his easier to abuse attacks. As you can see, he doesn't like using it. Like, look at that. I should have the advantage in getting the hit. But he just, like, recovers effortlessly. hit by an attack that shouldn't have hit, pushed into damage, and then I get hit by another thing. It's genuinely like the worst thing I've ever experienced with any kind of like action game. Like just have the hit do more damage. Don't do like this cringe shit where it fucking like flies through the air, hits me like 3 extra times. Surprised that missed. That didn't fucking hit me, man. Like, he just looked at me and my fucking health just fucking evaporated. Like, it's so cringe. Like, yeah, what if we made Radon a Super Saiyan? What if he's Broly for this second phase? Just beef him up, let him shoot fucking lightning out of his hands, like, it goes from being some, like, weird fucking femboy enjoyer to fucking Zeus, which I guess isn't that far off. Yep, silly me thinking I could do damage. Not pleased with him taking off like that, but it's an opportunity to heal. He's like this if I just don't even bother running. Well, I genuinely thought we would have gotten the stagger there. Like, it's... I know it doesn't reset between phases. And I know his stance isn't that much higher than, like, the Scatter Tree Avatar, which we were pretty reliably stance breaking. I think it's only 20 more, which isn't saying much when it's like 100 to begin with. But if I can get that many good attacks off on him, yeah, taking the piss. If I can get that many good attacks off on him, I don't see why I shouldn't be able to stop him there. Let's try this again. Must have rolled into it. But yeah, I mean, like, if it did, like, chip damage, it would be less obnoxious. But, like, it seemingly does as much damage as getting hit by the sword. And it's just, like, you're punished for rolling and you're punished for getting hit twice as much. start, but it was looking promising for a second. I don't know what hit me there. I didn't get hit by the sword because he was still doing the animation, but I guess a random lightning strike caught me. Yeah, sometimes like this, I do wish I could just like enable like cheat engine or something similar, just to like test how many hits it actually takes uninterrupted to stagger his ass. Because it really is nonsense sometimes. Ironic. Well, I know I can't stagger him this time, so... Yeah. do I even bother? If that happens, I should just stand there and tank it, because... we end up taking free damage. And then I have to run to him to try and recoup the losses instead of just standing there, because it's not like it does less damage the further away I get. It's one of those it's one of those attacks that feels like it's balanced around using torrent, but you're not allowed to. No stance for this attempt. Cringe. Well, that started good. And then I lost 90% of my health through a single attack. With the flask that gives me extra damage mitigation. And it's like, if not for the fact that certain attacks hit several times, or like the multi-attacks the boss does in the second phase, with all the after images, the one bubble tier that prevents like one big hit becomes useless. Hoping I could have gotten the phase transition. Yeah, it was literally one hit, so if we connected with that one attack, we would have probably been fine. At least like this, since I know the attack is going to appear and I have no real way of dodging it, I can just run away. I feel like he was one attack short of getting staggered, but I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing. Flies toward me from across the room to punish me setting up Ghost Flame Ignition, does the cringe vacuum effect, and then does the delayed attack. It's like, I genuinely feel like the game collects my personal data to decide what the worst attacks I dodge are, and then capitalizes on it. I was wondering when that happened. Like, I'm in the air when the projectiles come out of the ground, but then I still take damage because I guess they don't all happen at the same time, and I'm just unlucky. Like, it... But when the effect is literally like a 30-foot space around the boss, it becomes a situation where it's like you get lucky if you dodge. have been so much better if I was able to get Ghost Flame Ignition off there, but using that was probably what got me killed anyway. Started off phase 2 very well, and then it stopped going well. Okay, he's fucking with me again. Fortunately, I didn't get the second hit off, but yeah. There was no chance of me staggering him, so I don't know why I ran up like that. Like, just give me a window that I can do anything, and the fight becomes easy. Like, some fights he'll do the grab attack like 5 times in a row, and then other times he's just like, I'm never using it. Like, sometimes he'll do the cross slash like 3 times in a row, and he's like, okay, I'm not using it this time. So cringe. Thank you for giving me a chance to heal. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised that this is taking this long, but I was hoping it wouldn't. I think it tilts me a little bit whenever I get hit by one of like the obvious telegraphed attacks. Because both hits there, I should have been able to dodge, but I just I know I hit dodge that time. I doubt I can stagger him, but let's try anyway. And none of those hits were able to. Which, aside from me getting clipped at the beginning of the second phase, that pretty much went decently. He didn't do that stupid floating attack. He didn't fly in the air and throw shit at me. I just lose to invisible, obscure gameplay mechanics. Admittedly, I was distracted trying the menu there. At this stage in the game, I should really take the lantern off my fucking bar, because it just throws me off. I do want to see though, do I have any consumable, reusable consumable items that would be decent here? Or at least ones that I have like a plethora? Because I mean, I could use these depending on how long it takes to cast them, but they will definitely not do any damage. I just mean like something that could cause an effect. Inflict damage. Doesn't say how much damage and what type. If these are anything like the Dark Souls items, they also heal enemies. And since it doesn't say players, I have to assume it still works that way. Restoring HP of those who host a frenzied flame. I mean, it's oddly specific. I mean, I guess I could use this at the start of the fight, but the problem is I don't know how long of a cast time it is. And since it's a consumable, then I'd have to get more eventually. It's not really anything that I can add. That rune, the Mikkela's Great Rune, is actually useful for the fight, but it's the kind of situation that it's only useful for the grab attack. And the grab, I have not game over to the grab attack, so I don't think that's something it's worth considering. Now, I have a single Blessing of Marika, so I mean, in an emergency, I could use that, but I don't know where I can get more. A whole lot of good those blasts did. Oh my god, of course that happens at that exact moment. Yep. I love getting everything interrupted by bullshit. It's such an unquantifiably bad game. Like, it's insane. Like, the frequency that I trigger a critical hit at the worst possible moment is astounding to me. Steak. I delayed my attack a little bit because I didn't know if he was doing the second flip, and then I died for it because I didn't recover fast enough. I feel like it's hit or miss if I even recover fast enough, so maybe I just don't greed if my health is that low. But unfortunately, it's not the kind of fight where I can just be like, oh well, I'll just not use a Great Rune until I get to phase 2 more comfortably. Because it's nonsense. It's just sometimes the boss does that attack 3 times in a row, and sometimes it actually cooperates. Like, you could have done that at any point too, and he just chose not to. Which would have at least given me the opportunity to heal. I don't know why I even did that. I knew attacking there was a bad idea. I almost got baited into the critical hit. That would have probably caused that bug to occur. And I didn't even try dodging that time. I was too busy talking. And immediately I get dog shit thrown my way. Granted, that wasn't the best start of phase 2, but like, I kind of ran expecting him to do the explosion, and then he did that, and then when I tried to like adjust, it just kind of went to shit. started off decently, but I was fishing for a stun that just wouldn't happen. I genuinely believe if I had access to doing my R2 in any consistent way without having to put like 10 pounds of force into my controller, that we would be doing a little better as far as causing a stun, but I don't have that luxury. Unfortunate timing. I do also think it's quite something that my attack power is 1150 according to the status screen, but I hit for maybe 450, implying he takes like 40% of the damage I actually deal. So it does work. Honestly, if not for him doing the hover attack at the start of that phase, I would have probably just dropped Ghost Flame Ignition on his head. I feel like I would have gotten more damage out from that because it just does more damage, but I needed to do that to avoid taking an enormous amount of health. Yep. Yoinking me in, so I run away thinking he's gonna do like that gravity attack, and then he does whatever that shit is. You would think if the game did the vacuum attack, it would more often than not, at least, do the vacuum, the follow up. But they're just like, nah, I'm not. I don't feel like it. Back to doing this shit. Yeah, just give me a reset. It's genuinely just like a horseshit encounter. But people love it. Can't imagine why. almost out of rune arcs. Okay, stop being funny. It's the second time you did it, man. My brain is just not working at this point. I've dodged that attack 100 times, and I'm just like, well, what if I don't move and just look at it? Can't do much, so... I'll get to participate at some point. It's never just like, well, here's this epic fight where you're duking it out with the commander of, like, the Foreign Legion. It's always like, here's this anime bullshit where they fly around and throw fucking meteors at you. It's like I'm playing a fucking Final Fantasy game all of a sudden. No, I'm not interested in your bullshit art shilling. Thanks, though. That makes 2 people showing up on my stream in one day to try and get me to purchase art that's probably just AI generated shit from them. And it's always like first message too. It's so disrespectful. Because it's not like they hang out or anything. It's just like, no, they're here to make money off me and fuck everything else. I was confident that would have interrupted them. I felt like that first phase took so long that his stagger should have been built up enough that any of those hits should have been it. But because we have no idea of how close we are to a stance break, because it's not like the game shows me that information, it's always like he'll fly in the air like that, and it makes me wonder if the whole thing resets. Alright, man. Okay, somehow that hit me. He must have hit me with the very tip of his sword to kill me there. Granted, I should have been dodging into him, but like, holy shit, is that fucking unlucky. So that means that I do not have time to cast Ghost Flame Ignition. So using Ghost Flame Ignition first, unless it's a scenario that I have to dodge that explosion, is just better damage in every scenario. Dodging the explosion is the only reason for me to do the critical hit. I was waiting for him to do that to heal. I think I can greed for the stagger. Okay, or not. Oh, so I can't hurt him during that, I see. Any of those attacks should have knocked him down, but none of them did. I really don't want to change my weapon. I mean, I don't think this is the best weapon for this fight, just on account of the fact that it seems like every time I use Ghost Flame Ignition, something horrible happens. But it's the most amount of damage I have for the least amount of actual input. It just requires the boss to cooperate. I don't know why I dashed into him. We just took all that damage for free, more or less. And I had the wrong flask out. Dodge the stomp, died to a pebble flying my way from the aftershock of it. Like, I know I'm not coping. I know that his stagger, like how close he is to getting stance broken does carry over, because we've seen it happen. But just like the inconsistency of it, when it should be relatively consistent, unless it's a fight where I'm just dodging endlessly, which, I mean, that's every fight, to be fair. Yep. Got hit in the air that time. Good news, I get to heal. Bad news, I lose out on all that stance damage. But maybe it'll be okay. Quite literally, one coin flip away from winning the fight. Because that's all this fight is. You're coin flipping if he does the cringe fucking near unavoidable attacks, or you're coin flipping if he actually fights. Then you have shit like that where I dodge the exact same time, because I have every other attempt, and I get hit by every single attack. Literally the exact same dodging, but a different result. I didn't have the stamina to attack when I got up to him, and then I just like short-circuited and just stood there watching him. Like my brain was like, okay, I need to wait on the stamina, and then I just died for free. attack at any time. Like, I think the boss has like 40 something thousand health. So like if he stands in a full ghost limb ignition, that's like 20% of his health right there. Problem is, I never get the opportunity to use it. This is my only real opportunity. And then this cringe happens. It's never like, oh, he'll take a few steps and then do like the dive attack. It's like, oh, it's random if he's gonna fly at me from fucking like a 20-second run away, or if he's gonna do this thing 3 times, like it. That works for me. That doesn't work for me quite so much. Bad. I really wish the brand lightning wasn't pushing me through attacks. That's how the attack was done. Because of the constant zapping of lightning that obscures the camera, it's hard to see if the delayed attack is coming or not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The dodge system is such a well-designed thing in this game. Honestly, I can't blame the dodges. I have to blame the attacks, because the attacks are just nonsense. The enemy will like fly by me and it's like a fucking ultrasonic missile exploded and I just get vaporized by proxy. I need to stop relying on, well, not relying on, I need to stop expecting the stance breaks to happen. Because a lot of my strategy seems to revolve around it, like me playing around it for the first phase so I can do it immediately in the second. A part of me does think I should swap the Death Poker to that one spear I made to fight Commander Gaius. Because for all the times the boss just runs away, at the very least I could set up, it technically has a higher attack power anyway, because at the very least I could set up the Glintblade Phalanx, and with it being lighter, I might be able to also equip something to improve Glintblade's sorcery, which may count. I can give it a try, I mean... This all assumes that I'm at least medium load still. I don't plan on casting anything with it, but the idea is that maybe it'll make a difference. I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I needed to get used to the attack pattern for the weapon, but it does feel a little better. It could be my imagination though, but I only have time for one attempt, so let's see how it goes. At least like this is a fast enough animation that I don't get punished immediately for just daring to use my weapon art. You know, I'll give it one more try because that was genuinely just unlucky timing. One thing I have to bear in mind is I do not have the bonus trigger damage of Frostbite now. So maybe I could supplement that with, like, if I could make frost pots. I know those exist, but I don't know if I actually have the cookbook for it. I'm not sure if I like the way this is. I mean, the damage is okay, but like with no burst damage for the second phase, I feel like I do more harm than good. It was unfortunate that I got hit on him going up because then I didn't have the opportunity to heal. But yeah, it feels more fluid to fight the boss in the first phase with this, but I'm just doing chip damage, and the problem with that is for the second phase is I can't afford to just do chip. I can't afford that. So back to this, I guess. But I'm all out of time, so that's it for me for today. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thing is, the views, hosts, follows, everything. You guys are awesome. I genuinely thought we would have at least beaten Radon, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna be streaming tomorrow. I have shit I have to do, so I'll be back on Tuesday, same time. Until then, I hope you guys all have a good one.